The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Earnestly podcast coming to you January 29th, 2023 rather. How you guys doing? We're recording this late night. Just wrapped up the AFC Championship game. The Kansas City Chiefs return to the Super Bowl. Third Super Bowl appearance in 4 years. With the great Patrick Mahomes, of course. Travis Kelce. Chris Jones on defense. And Andy Reid, of course. The Philadelphia Eagles earlier punched their ticket into the Super Bowl in a less impressive game. Win over the San Francisco 49ers. And I gotta say, very rare do you see number one seeds.
I called that mid-season.
Oh, my wife's called it. She's called it. When did you call that? Mid-season?
I think maybe, yeah, mid-season.
Mid-season. Okay.
I knew what I was talking about.
Remember I told y'all a couple weeks ago on the podcast about my wife being into sports all of a sudden now? Remember I told y'all that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she knows what she's talking about.
And I wound up being right.
Yeah, you ended up being right. That's right. But let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you all something right now. First off, podcast on all podcast catchers, number one. Follow me, of course. Each person 7 on Twitter. Podcast on all podcast catchers. Amazon Music, Stitch Radio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Did I say Spotify already? Yeah, I did say that. Also, and probably most importantly here, youtube.com/@EarnestChristian. Please. Just saying. But yeah. This is kind of a reaction podcast, I guess. Want to call that? Kind of a reaction podcast, if you want to call that. But let's go to the Eagles first. Not a very impressive game. 31-7 win over the Niners. And a game that underwhelmed. The game we saw tonight between the Bengals and Chiefs is what I thought we would get out of the Eagles 49ers game. But Brock Purdy gets hurt in the first series of the game. Okay, he returns to the game, but not healthy. They bring in Josh Johnson, who was, by the way, for the record, he's still in the league. I had no idea he's still in the league. This dude's been in the league since 2008, I think. Obama just became president when he was still in the league. Or I meant Bush, I'm not sure exactly, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. Dude's still in the league, though. I was surprised. I was really surprised he's still in the league. But he gets hurt. They bring back Brock Purdy in the game, but he doesn't throw the ball. The Niners defense did all they could to stay in that game. Eagles is too good, and I had a feeling. I said, remember I saw the week I was saying about how when I recorded the podcast on Tuesday, I said, I feel like the Eagles win this game, but I changed my mind through the week. But throughout the week, I said I never changed my mind. I thought the Eagles win this game, even into kickoff. Just felt that way. But I didn't think they win this way. I didn't think it would be the way it played out with all the injuries that happened. The Niners had no chance because Brock Purdy was so hurt he couldn't even throw the ball down the field to attack the secondary. Josh Johnson refused to attack the secondary. I mean, it really wasn't the game at all. The defense played all they could, did all they can, but at some point it is what it is. You can't do what you got to do. But by the way, shout out to the Eagles. Y'all know I'm not an Eagles fan at all. But I'm going to take y'all to task real quick. Because I know how I have issues with Eagles fans, and that's fine. Y'all hate me. It's all good. Y'all talk all your shit. It's all good. I'll take it all in for years. But what did I tell y'all last year about Jalen Hurts? My boy. He's the only reason. Jalen Hurts is the only reason I even give I even have a sliver of a reason to root for the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. Because that brother, that guy, that dude is one of the better human beings on this planet. You know his story. Great human being. Hard worker. He puts the work in. Last year, when y'all lost to Tampa Bay in the first round in the wild card round, and Jalen Hurts played a horrific game, what all I heard last year was this. All I heard was, we might need to start Gardner Minshew next year because I don't think Hurts is good enough to win the Super Bowl to take us to the promised land. That's all I heard last year, all throughout the season. I don't think Hurts is good enough to take us to the promised land. And all this dude did is come back, had a fantastic year, Everybody saying, "Oh, well, they're winning because it's a great team around him." Then he gets hurt for 2 games at the end of the year. The Eagles don't play well. He comes back and picks up the pace. He's probably MVP. He might be the MVP. I'm not saying he's going to win it, but he might be the MVP of the league right now. But Jalen Hurts, tremendous story. And a tale of hard work. A tale of what you do when you put the damn work in. And you can see it. The way he throws the ball. And yeah, I'm sure you get him help. Because every quarterback that's won this league has gotten help. I mean, come on. Joe Montana, arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Had Jerry Rice, Dwight Clark, John Taylor, you name it, Roger Craig. So getting help is not a detriment because you can't win without some help, without some sort of star power. But Jalen Hurts, the one thing I will say with the Eagles, even though I'm not an Eagles fan, you guys know this already. I will say this, at least Jalen Hurts gets the chance to right the ship, right to the detractors who doubted this guy, not even a full year ago, doubting this guy. He's now taking your team to the Super Bowl, and what? Great story. The game stunk. Let's be real. The game just stunk. The game I thought we had tonight, Bengals Chiefs, which is a tremendous game, but ultimately, I thought we got that with the Eagles and Niners. We didn't get that. So shout out to Jalen Hurts. Shout out to Nick Sirianni also. It's a good story. It's a likable team, honestly. Nick Sirianni, of course, he gets hired 2 years ago. People immediately saying this guy, first press conference he's stuttering over the place. And everybody's saying, "Oh, wait, this is the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles? We hired this guy? Stuttering Nick here?" All he does is, first year, take his team to the playoffs. Next year, take his team to the Super Bowl. Possibly win the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. We'll see how that plays out. Just saying. These guys get to shape the narrative. You don't. And they're shaping the narrative for you guys right now, too. So, again, shout out to the Eagles, even though not an Eagles fan, of course. And by the way, did you guys see that tweet earlier today? Empire State Building apparently turned green, Eagles colors, in New York City? What are we doing? What are we doing? New York, you allowing that to happen? Did you lose a bet or something? Like, for real, what are we doing? No. No, we don't do that. No. Anyway, shout out to the Eagles. Next game. Bengals, Chiefs, down the wire. Chiefs win last second field goal by Harrison Butker. Great game. Patrick Mahomes, let me tell you. Because there's all this talk all week long, and justified because Joe Burrow is that dude, and Joe Burrow has earned the right to be in the conversation about what he's done in the field. But if there was any reminder needed that Patrick LeVon Mahomes is the best quarterback in football, today is just another reminder. Mahomes not even healthy. Barely, and you saw it was very visible that Mahomes was not healthy. Limping across the field. Had a tremendous game. Had one big mistake, actually, that cost him the game, was that, the fumble he had where he was trying to throw the ball to the a quick out route, and he just lost control of the ball. Bengals recover. That could have been costly. Great game, though. Chiefs had a chance to put the game away a couple times and didn't do that. Didn't put a knockout blow. And, this is it. This is that. But the Chiefs, a couple breaks here and there. Officiating was an issue in this game, too. The officiating was bad in the first game, too, for the record. But I don't think that really impacted the game as much as you think. I think the injuries, the quarterbacks, really was what impacted the game for the Niners and Eagles. This game, the officiating was just as bad, if not worse. The linebacker, Osai, pushes Mahomes out of bounds. They threw a late flag, so Mahomes gets the first down, and then 15 yards on top of that, which stopped the field goal late in the game. I feel bad for that dude, but it was the right call. I feel bad for that guy, but it was the right call. This is the thing about football. Like, it's such an emotional sport. You're so locked into stopping a guy, but you don't realize the guy's out of bounds already, and you push the guy. Obviously, looking back in hindsight, he wouldn't have done that. But this is the game. You want to be aggressive. You can't be soft. I get that. But it was the right call. It was the right call. So the Chiefs now, third Super Bowl in 4 years. Pat Mahomes has been in the AFC title game every single year as a starter. Super Bowl bound 3 times. And I'm going to say something here real quick. And I might get some blowback on this, but some people are going to probably agree with me on this. Because at this point, the only thing preventing people like me and others from saying Mahomes is arguably the GOAT, the greatest of all time, is years of service at this point. But I got to say this right now. He's now, 5 years in the league? I think technically 6. Or 4 years, technically 5. I can't remember exactly. If you want to put Pat Mahomes in the top 10 all-time quarterbacks, hell, you want to start putting him in the top 5 quarterback in the history of the league. Honestly, I have no problem with that whatsoever. This dude's been so good and sustained for so long now, 5 years in, then it's hard to ignore at this point his greatness. It's hard to ignore this now. We're now half a decade of this Mahomes career, and he's been nothing but excellent. Again, 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years. You know how hard it is to do that in this league? And in the AFC, that's been very good this year. Oh, by the way, didn't we start here talking about how the Chiefs might have to the Chiefs have been kind of sort of rebuilding sort of this year. You know, you lose Tyreek Hill in a trade. Then you say it can't be lost because they traded him away because they want to pay him X amount of dollars. So this was kind of a backwards, somewhat rebuilding year. While the Chiefs have been good, the assumption was they'll still be a playoff team, but the possibility of them being behind Cincinnati, being behind Buffalo, there was that conversation out there. Hell, I picked them to make the wild card, not to win the division this year. I had the Raiders win the division, but bad pick, by the way. We know that. And all Mahomes does this year is get the 1 seed, wins both playoff games in the AFC at home, and does it with one leg, pretty much. One functional leg, rather. I mean, this dude is unbelievable. This is why he is the best quarterback in the league. Like, I'm not against Joe Burrow being in that conversation. He's number 2 right now for me at this point. I'm a Burrow guy. I love Burrow. And the conversation about him being the best quarterback in the league was obviously a lot of folks on, like Dan Orlovsky and ESPN was saying, it's not so much that he's better than Mahomes, it's that he's the most fundamental quarterback in the league. What Mahomes is special. I get all that. But I think there was a reminder tonight that why Pat Mahomes is that dude, why he is the best quarterback in the league, probably top 10 all time. Some may say top 5 already. You know what? Why it may sound very, very early to say this because of years of service or lack of years of service right now, I'm not going to stop you. This dude is that good. I don't see any signs of him slowing down anytime soon. Do you? Come on now. So, we got our Super Bowl. Super Bowl 57, I believe it is. 57. I've lost track of numbers the last couple of years. We got and you saw the title of the podcast there. It is the Super-Kelce-Reid Bowl. And what I mean by that is this. You have Travis Kelce, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. His brother plays for the Chiefs. His brother Jason Kelce plays for the Eagles, offensive lineman. You got the Andy Reid specter as well, too. Andy Reid, of course, coached the Eagles for a very long time, from 1999, 98 to 2013, I think it was, or 12. Took him to the Super Bowl back in the day. Winning as coach of Eagles history. Now comes to Kansas City in 2015, I think it was, 2014. And they've been one of the best teams in the league in the last 5 or 6 years. So you have all those storylines. First 2 black quarterbacks. First time ever in Super Bowl history, you have 2 black starting quarterbacks in the league in the Super Bowl. Amazing storyline there as well. It's 2 number 1 seeds in both conferences. And by the way, not very common we get this. 2 number 1 seeds in each conference make it to the Super Bowl. We don't get that very often. Which is actually a shock when people really think about it. So, Super Bowl 57, I believe the number is. We're all set. Arizona, we got 2 weeks. Football is pretty much done. I mean, other than the Super Bowl in 2 weeks, that's it. I know for me, doing this podcast and the life and life in general, things start to open up now a little bit now. Now, I mean, obviously I love basketball. I watch basketball no matter what, even during football season. But now with football pretty much on the back burner, other than the Super Bowl coming up, I can get back to content, other content, taking in content, watching shows I fell behind on. Hell, wrestling now is back in the forefront again now. We'll just get to in a second. So there's a good and bad part. Like, I'm gonna miss football obviously when it's done, but at the same time, I'm also gonna have a chance to attack other things. Read new books behind. Content. That's other things. There's other things out there I can watch. So, again, shout out to the Chiefs. Shout out to the Eagles. Job well done. And 2 weeks from now, we'll have should be a great Super Bowl. I haven't seen the line on this game yet. If I had to guess the line, I would see it probably a pick 'em. It might be Eagles -1.5, -2 maybe. In fact, as I say that, let me guess. Okay, let me see if this site has put up the line for this game yet. Let's see. It is right now. Chiefs open up at Chiefs -1. Bovada has it right now at Eagles -1, Eagles -2.5, -2 on Bet65. William Hill has it -2.5. Eagles. I was right. I was right. I said Eagles -1.5. I was right. Not bad. And I think this line may not move much. In fact, it would not shock me that as long as Mahomes' ankle improves, because he got through this game, like I said, aggressive defense in Cincinnati, I believe that this could go to a pick 'em. I don't see much movement in this line at all, honestly, if being honest. But again, 2 weeks from now, we'll see what happens there. One more other thing before I get to my Royal Rumble review real quick. LeBron James is what? I don't know the exact number, but he's under 100 points away, close to 100 points away from breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's scoring record. Folks, I know there's a lot of opinions on LeBron James. I'm going to sit there and preach about LeBron James here, but I'm going to say this real quick. A lot of opinions on LeBron James. Could we try to enjoy the moment here, seeing history? This is a record that hasn't been broken in nearly 40 years. I was 4 years old when Kareem broke the record. Okay, the scoring record. I was 4 years old. So understand that this is something that's not very common. There's only been two other people who have held a scoring record. Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That is it. Michael Jordan never got there. Kobe Bryant never got there. Kareem and Wilt. List done. And LeBron James is about to break this record in a matter of days. The way he's playing now, he can get it by the end of the week. He's averaging, 40 points a game now the last couple weeks? The way he's been playing. Now, look, we know Lakers aren't that good. Though they've been playing much better basketball recently. And they're actually, if they can continue playing good basketball, although that loss at Boston on Saturday night was not that good. Not good at all. But bad luck also too with LeBron getting hacked on the play. But by the way, he did get fouled, but LeBron also did travel in that play for the record. I mean, for all the top people saying LeBron got screwed in that play for getting hacked on that play by Jason Tatum, he did walk on that play, just for the record. It's called a spade. But can we appreciate the moment we're at right now? We can separate our personal feelings of LeBron James, whether it's politically speaking or anything else that matter. But as a basketball player, as a basketball ambassador to the sport, appreciate what we're going to see here. This is a record I thought would not be broken. And LeBron James is not only going to beat the record in a matter of days, the way he's playing right now, he's going to destroy the record. The record is 38,000 and change, obviously. LeBron could play another 3-4 years of elite basketball, but the way he takes care of himself. So he may put this record to a place where it's insurmountable to catch. I don't think people are understanding that. LeBron is not only going to beat the record in a matter of days, he's probably going to put the record out of reach for another 50-something years, if not longer. Because it will require you, number one, to playing a long time, and to sustaining an excellent career for a long time. As LeBron James today still is a top 20 player in this league. A top 10 player in this league right now. Okay? And while there's been some deterioration, which is natural because he is 38 years old, you know, there's no question that he's better at this age than Michael Jordan was at his age. Michael Jordan was at 38 years old. There's no question about that. And I say that as someone who has Jordan number one all time. But there's one thing LeBron has with Jordan is longevity factor. Oh, by the way, LeBron didn't retire twice like Jordan did. Oh, by the way. Just saying. And I'm still Jordan 1, LeBron 2. But I'm giving us some context here. So, let's appreciate what we're seeing in a moment. This is huge. This is a big deal. Okay? We don't get to see these kind of things happen often. So when it does happen, let's try to appreciate that if we could. So, okay. The last thing we'll get out of here. Because the wife gave me a chance to record this. I'm gonna take advantage of it. Last night, Royal Rumble. And I said, this is the time of year. Royal Rumble season. This goes into Mania. Royal Rumble's kind of like the playoffs. WrestleMania is a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So, and I said it before in the podcast. I probably heard a podcast I did with Robert Barnett a couple days ago. And we discussed about, how wrestling never stops. So there are times where you feel like, especially with me, when football comes back in the fall, football, college football, NBA's back, baseball playoffs, there's so much content overload that sometimes things you watch or you like to watch do suffer. In that case, wrestling content for me suffers in the fall. But by the time we get to this time of the year, where football's starting to end, college football's over, there's less to worry about on that end, not just with watching content, but also doing this show, doing podcasts and all that of that nature. I start getting back to wrestling because Royal Rumble to me Royal Rumble number one is my favorite pay-per-view / premium live event ever. It's my favorite gimmick show ever. I love the concept. I've been watching it for decades now. And this year was no different. So I'm going to give my 5 takeaways from the Royal Rumble from last night. And a show that was solid show last night. Let me just bring this up real quick, and I'll find this here. So, obviously, the first takeaway for me, the results were predictable. I got every match right. Every winner, whether it was Cody winning the men's rumble, whether it was Rhea Ripley winning the women's rumble, whether it was Bianca Belair retaining a women's title, whether it was Bray Wyatt winning the pitch black match, whatever the fuck that was, and the Roman match. I got all 5 things right. But I'm not going to brag here because it's not like it was really hard to decipher this, really, honestly. Anybody that watches this product will tell you where this was going, who's going to win, based on who committed to going to the Rumble and all that. So the show was predictable, but it was solid. But it was the execution of certain things that made it great, which I get to in my last takeaway here. Number 2, Rhea Ripley looked like a star. Like a top tier star, officially. Now, you guys remember Rhea Ripley? I think it was I don't know, it was last year or the year before that. It was probably last year. When she got called up on the main roster. Might have been 2021. Couple on the main roster. Beats Asuka for the Raw Women's title. And then stumbles out the gate. Not her fault. It's booking. But her out the gate, first couple months with the title was average at best. And then she does this Judgment Day angle this last 6 months of the year, which has changed everything for her. Looks like a star. She's a heel. Her character now is evolved now to where people really care. She's not just this laid back, rock gothic chick. She actually has a lot more depth to her character, and she's great in the ring to boot. And she's been great. And now we say, okay, we know our top tier girls and the ladies on the women's roster. We know the top tier women: Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, obviously, Bayley, Bianca Belair, obviously. But you still need to bolster that roster. Rhea Ripley was the one waiting. Last night in the Rumble, she was the first person in the ring, first person, number one entry in the ring. Went the entire distance, looked like a star the entire night. She's ready for this next run now. When she gets the title this time around, whether it's at Mania, whether it's down the road, whenever she wins the title, it will have more impact now especially because of what people now care more about her now. Her character now is fantastic. She's gotten Dominic Mysterio over. Come on, nobody got him over until she touched, she broke Rhea Ripley. Now people care about her now in a big way. Dominic Mysterio in a big way now, and that's because of Rhea. Judgment Day actually, yes, matters, but to me, honestly, Judgment Day is interesting only because of Rhea Ripley. Honestly, at this point, she could break away from the faction now, and people will probably care about her no matter what. So she's a star. She's a top tier star, and she's one of the best women right now on the roster. Number 3, don't be surprised to see Gunther in the world title picture by the end of 2023. Gunther made it nearly to the end also himself. First entry as well, too, in the Rumble. Went to the very end. Did not win, but made it to the end. Lost to Cody. And I think what they did there was testing to see, can this guy play with the big boys on top of the roster? Because Cody's going to be the guy going forward. We know this already. Okay? And Gunther, another great performance. Okay? This guy will be in that title picture, I believe, within the next year. Whether it's the end of this year or early next year as well, too. Going to the next Mania. Even the name Gunther, which I didn't care for initially. I prefer Walter. But it's grown on me. It's grown on me, actually, to be honest with you. Don't be surprised if this guy is in the title picture come the end of this year. Before, of course, as mentioned, Cody. Cody's ready. He's the guy. He's the next guy. I don't know if he beats Roman or how they play it out with the bloodline. We'll see how that plays out real quick, obviously. But, the pop that Cody Rhodes got at number 30. The only thing I would have done differently, honestly, with this show, number one, I wish they would have had Cody come in as a surprise. Because the surprise we thought we were going to get in this show didn't happen. There were really no surprises in this show at all. So Cody coming in with his music, with no one knowing, would have made more sense, actually. But whatever, it is what it is. But still, even so, the pop he got last night at number 30, fantastic. It was a pop of a Hulk Hogan, John Cena-like babyface. A guy that, yes, he is the face of the company. He's the face of the company. And that's the vibe I got when I saw him come out like that. And obviously when he wins the Rumble, he points a sign, the WrestleMania sign. Yes, he's the next guy. Now, will he be Roman in WrestleMania? We shall see. We'll see who he picks first off to, well, I guess obviously Roman because Roman has both belts, obviously. But at the end of the day, Cody's the next guy. I mean, we kind of knew this was coming last year, but it's with Seth. He's the next guy, definitely. Number 5, finally, last thing here. The Bloodline storyline might have entered my personal top 3 storyline in the history of the company. No surprise Roman wins against Kevin Owens. No surprise there. No one's surprised that happened there. But it was everything that happened next, after the match, that made that show, that made that match, that made everything what it was. Sami Zayn into the storyline. Okay? And Roman telling Sami to go destroy Kevin Owens after the rest of the Bloodline did the same thing. And then Sami Zayn having second thoughts. And then Sami Zayn, little pieces, little clues here and there. And then Sami Zayn finally hitting Roman with the chair at the end. And then Jey Uso, was it Jey? Or Jimmy Uso, obviously kicks him in the head. And then Jey Uso, who initially, before Sami Zayn officially became part of the Bloodline, was questioning Sami Zayn's loyalty. Also, they're boys now. And then Jey Uso getting so distraught by him getting kicked in the face by Jimmy, and Roman and the guys beating him up. He's out now of the Bloodline now. You can see the tweet on Instagram. He's out, apparently. The storytelling of this story, me personally, now I gotta think about this really hard, but just the impact of the story is top tier for me. It's top 5, top 3 for me. Like, the vibes I get looking at this story with Roman and the company and the Bloodline is the vibes I get with the Mega Power storyline back in 87, 88, 89 with Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage. It's the same vibe I get with Austin McMahon back in 98 and 99. It's the same vibe I get with The Rock and Austin. It's the same vibes I get. Same vibes I get with Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. The same vibe. I'm fully invested. And what's next now? Now the bloodline split up now. The cracks are in the armor now. Where does it go now? Is it going to be now where Sammy, KO, and Jey Uso face Roman, Solo, Sikoa, and Jimmy Uso at the Elimination Chamber next month? You know? And we still got ways to go with the storyline. Is this where Roman loses the title? Does he lose to Sammy? Does he lose to Cody? Who knows? There's so many question marks. So this storyline now has expanded now to where I am still heavily invested now. Because even though we got the Sammy turn finally, what's next? What is next? So, like I said, predictable Royal Rumble, but like I said, it did its job. And that's it for me now. Okay? I'm on Twitter, Eastern7. We'll have some more shows throughout the week. So thanks for tuning in for there. And we will talk soon. Enjoy your week. Hope you guys enjoy football this weekend. And we'll talk later.